Welcome back to the Midweek Breakdown. My name is the AntMan. Let's go the guys you know down at the bottom, Dalton and Brandon. And we have a special guest with us this week. If you've ever been to an Oklahoma baseball game, the voice of God, little G, we talked about that. The voice of God, your PA announcer at the Oklahoma Sooners baseball diamond. It is Tom Travis. Tom, my longtime friend, welcome to the Midweek Breakdown. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Sounds like fun.
Yeah. For a little while, even now, still anything happening on a diamond at Oklahoma has been the highlight of Oklahoma sports so far this year. Both the guys and the girls swinging the stick. I know we'll get into the girls getting their first loss this week, but how much fun has it been? And it's always fun calling the games, but man, when you have some hitters as a fielders, it really helps being up there in the box and enjoying those wins, right?
Honestly, it really does, because it's fun to win, but it's fun to just be a part of something that is you can see the progress. Yeah. The coach Skip Johnson, if you don't know a whole lot about Skip he's a pitching guru. And the guy he's like a pitching whisperer, if you will. And he just knows how to get a lot out of these kids. And he can bring them in. Like right now, they've got a starting rotation. They have two twins. They got Kyson and Malachi Witherspoon. Kyson is the Friday starter. Malachi is the Sunday starter. And they're twins. And they're both unbelievable. They're throwing in the 95, 96 mile an hour. They throw nasty stuff. And it is hard, for these hitters to come in and hit. The other night, we were actually laughing because they were playing a Mississippi State. And being in the SEC now, the teams are – it's not that they're better than the Big 12. They're just – it's like every hitter is solid, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. There's no drop off. So Mississippi State 1 through 9, you had, all 9 guys are capable of jacking one over the fence at any time. And the same for OU, but you just run that risk. So having a pitcher, he had 12 strikeouts Friday night, 12 in a game. Now, the next night, it was totally opposite. They had 31 hits between the two teams, and they ran like 9 pitchers between both teams. So it was awful. It was a 4-hour game. That was awful. That's the only negative about it. Yeah. But yeah, it's a lot of fun being on the winning side. And, just the tradition, at OU, and, you walk in and you see, even on the baseball stadium, they've had 2 national championships, and you see all of the NCAA tournament wins and all of that on the walls and stuff. So it's really pretty cool to be a part of it. This is just my 3rd year. So, it's just a blast.
Yeah. Brandon, what you got, man?
So I looked down through this lineup, and the team batting average is 299. Who on the team? Let's take Trey Gamble out of it, because he is obviously batting .356. He's got a 960 OPS. He is on fire right now. But who else have you seen that has really stepped up their game this year with the absence of some of the guys that we lost last year?
I tell you, the biggest, whenever Easton Carmichael steps to the plate, magic can happen.
I knew that was going to be your answer.
And I tell you what else is exciting, and a lot of people don't look at it this way, but and this is the difference with Skip Johnson. He has Jason Walk leading off. So Jaywalk, and the reason he leads off, it's not because he's a power hitter. He is fast. Mm-hmm. And so Skip Johnson's whole process of thinking, get guys on base, and then let them. They're real aggressive on the bases, and that's just how they play. He also has another fast guy at the 9 hole, Dawson Willis. So Dawson's at the 9 hole. Well, the other night when it was like this, when it was a 4-hour game, I was so thankful because Dawson Willis is the 9-hole hitter. He gets up there. You got Scott Mudler, who is the catcher or designated hitter. He's on first base, and we're down 1. And Dawson Willis gets up there and cranks one over the wall. I'm like, thank God I get to go home.
Right.
It was a 4-hour game, and it was, it was great. But whenever your 9-hole hitter can, put it over the wall like that, it's great. But to answer your question, I think Easton is there. I think Willits is a strong hitter. But I think the biggest one for me has got to be Easton, because that guy, and he can switch hit too. He hits right a lot, but if he needs to hit left, he can. And that in itself amazes me whenever people can do that.
So, Coach, I hear him on Sports Talk every week on the franchise, and he just seems like a good old boy, down home country boy. They talk about fishing, they talk about hunting, they talk about a little bit of everything. Is he a blast to hang out with? Blast to be around?
He really is. He's salt of the earth too. I mean, he's just a really nice guy. We joke because they always do the umpire meetings before, and they have the 2 coaches come out and they visit with the umpires, and we can't hear them. They don't have microphones on. Well, they do now for the reviews, but they don't have them on yet, so we can't hear anything. But we always joke because if they're going long, we can always tell that Skip's down there and he's real animated, and we always joke that he's telling a fishing story. They're not talking baseball. He's down there talking about fishing.
Yeah.
Because usually they'll point out things like, yeah, you got to watch this over here or watch that. No, he's real animated. He's talking about fishing and hunting. So that's our joke in the press.
He's like, you should have seen this largemouth I caught this week.
That's funny.
That's right.
Tom, we know the girls have earned their brand new field over on the softball field, this being their first season in that place. You've been over to check out the digs, get the behind the scenes tour, that the places where you sit on the guy's side.
I have not. It is beautiful though.
Yeah.
The coolest thing about it, and where the baseball stadium sits, we can see the backside of the softball stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And the scoreboard,
the Oklahoma,
is shaped like the state of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah,
it literally is pretty cool. Yeah. And it's, but it's just a palace. I've had people come in that love softball, especially for, you get these young ladies, these high school girls, they'll come in and they'll do a tournament or they'll do something there and they're just enamored. They really are. And here's the other odd part. They still have the other stadiums still there and still useful. They just used it for a tournament 2 weekends ago.
Marita Hines, right?
So they have both stadiums are still fully operational. Yeah. Well, and they're not going to do anything with it because I think it's isn't it like not a national, but a state. It's got something to do with history.
Landmark.
It's a historical marker.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. I think they're going to keep it up, and they're going to use it for all those, non-conference tournaments and stuff like that, just like they did earlier in the year especially when we had some kind of janky weather. They put some of the games over there and some of the games at Love's. They were all supposed to be at Love's, but the weather didn't pan out, so they had to cancel basically a day, and so they played at both fields. So that was pretty cool, though.
Right.
Tom, the reason I was asking if you had checked it out, I didn't know if you had made any notes about some upgrades you might want in your section up top.
Well, they just redid the press box.
Okay.
When I walked in February 14th was Valentine's Day, because nothing says I love you with your spouse like a baseball game. But
right.
They put a new sound system in, and they actually put in they put in marble countertops. So, the joke in the press box was we go to the SEC, we get marble countertops.
That's right. You step it up a little bit. That's it. Speaking of the ladies caught their first L this week, B.
Yeah, man, that Missouri series was stressful for a fat kid that loves softball like I do. I mean, it was just never got the bats going. I mean, we run ruled them on Friday night, and it was 8-0, but it was a very quiet 8-0. Like, it wasn't this big, we just kept hitting home runs and kept scoring, making innings long. No, we had like 3 home runs that got us to 8, 3 2-run home runs, or 2 3-run home runs, and a 2-run home run. Good Lord. I sound like the announcer for that, or the play-by-play guy for that game. He was horrible. Like, he could not spit his words out. But hey, no pressure, Tom. But
no play-by-play there, though.
None.
Right? Yeah. At least you don't have to do the play-by-play. Right.
No, that's not me.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't think that fast.
On Saturday, we had 1 run on a solo home run in the top of the 7th, but we left like 13 batters on base. We left runners in scoring position 11 times in that game. And 3 of those 11 times, we had runners on second and third with 0 outs and did not get one of them across. The bats just didn't bat. I mean, it just didn't happen. You're going to have those days. And with this team, they're so young this year. I mean, so many freshmen and sophomores this year that, I mean, you're going to have those games. I was not expecting us to go undefeated all the way through the season. That was not going to happen. But I'll take 28-1. I mean, we come back on Sunday, we get the win, 5-1 on Sunday. The bats kind of picked up a little bit more. Pitching was great. I mean, our pitching this weekend was actually really good. I mean, we gave up 1 run, 3 runs, and no runs. So over 3 games, we gave up 4 runs. We just could not put the bat on the ball in that second game. And, I mean, they throw like a 5-hitter, I think, on Saturday between 2 different pitchers, but it was frustrating. I mean, we're doing all right. We play a little non-conference game tomorrow night at 6 at Wichita State. And then this coming up weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have Tennessee coming to town, who I believe is ranked 9th, either 9th or 11th. I can't remember.
No, they're 10th.
Oh, well, never mind. I was right in the middle. So I was dancing around it. I was just going to hit it. So ranked 10th, playing really good. They have some definite bats. This will be our best pitching staff that we've faced so far this season, which hopefully we can handle them a little better than we did last weekend. Ella Parker's still struggling. I mean, really struggling. And I say that, people go look at her stats, and she's batting .436 with a 1.348 OPS. She finds her way on base. She gets all that, but she just 3 weeks ago, she was batting almost 700, and she's dropped over 240 points in the last 3 weeks because she has just struggled. Gabby Garcia had her 13-game hitting streak snapped this weekend in that game on Saturday. I mean, we still, listen, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 batters batting over 300. With freshman and sophomore getting the majority of those at bats, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 of them are batting over 400. Nelly McEnroe-Marinas, our third baseman, freshman, captain. She came up big this weekend. She did have the 1 home run on Saturday. She also had another one on Sunday. I believe on Friday night she had a couple of hits, one of them being a RBI double. Like, Nelly McEnroe-Marinas has been really good. Pitching staff still doing their thing. I mean, still doing their thing. Sam Landry, to me, has definitely emerged as the best of the pitchers. Although I say that, and Isabella Smith got her first loss this weekend. So she was the pitcher on Saturday, got her first loss. Then we kind of did the rest of it by committee. But Friday and Sunday, nobody was touching Sam Landry. I mean, she gave up a home run on Sunday.
You know, it's
one run home run. What you got, Tom?
You know, it's interesting. You were talking about the pitching. You were talking about the pitching, and you know the difference. And this is where softball and baseball are like polar opposites, because in softball you can have an ace that can throw back-to-back days, or day after day. You know, and they do it during the tournament play. And I've never understood how these ladies do that, because I mean, you'd have to call IMSA. I mean, my shoulder, I'd throw my shoulder completely off. I mean, it would be like a piece of spaghetti. I can't do that. But like in the SEC, I think you're going to find that the pitching staffs of these schools in the SEC are far light years ahead of most of the teams that OU is used to playing. Now, you know, in the years past, Oklahoma State and Texas has really only been the two schools that have challenged OU in softball.
In the Big 12, yeah.
And it's been because of pitching. Yeah, and it's all been pitching. But now, much like baseball, you were talking about the 1 through 9 being over 300. If you remember last year, I remember for softball and the year before, I think all 9 hitters were over 350. And that was, I mean, whenever you've got all 9 hitters that can, again, crank it at any moment.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, when you're opposing somebody, I mean, so that's a big thing. So being in the SEC now, I think is going to be a little bit different. And much like baseball, you're talking about one loss. It's not a big deal. I mean, you know, get it out of the way early. Let them feel that, you know, and let it motivate them to do a little something else. I think that's where Patty Gasso excels. I mean, she knows how to take that loss and use it for a better good, you know, down the road. And they may lose again. Who knows? I mean, you go for the series win. You don't necessarily go for sweeps. You know, if you can get series wins, you're gonna do okay.
Well, I mean, the difference in the last couple of years in those teams. I mean, last year we literally lost at the end of last season. We lost 6 All-Americans. So that you talk about the differences in last year's team and this year's team, and this year's team has beyond surprised me. I mean, after the first weekend or two, these guys can vouch for what I'm about to say. The first weekend or two, I was like, look, we're still Oklahoma, but we're not Oklahoma. You know, this isn't the Oklahoma team that you're used to seeing. And these girls just figure out a way to get it done. After a loss, they come back on Sunday, they get it done. You know, we don't have all those All-Americans. We have a couple freshman All-Americans. We don't have any other remaining All-Americans on our team. And it's been fun watching it this year. It really has, and Patty said it several times. She was like, I actually get to coach now. Like, I feel like the last 2 years she was just on cruise control because she had all these juniors and seniors that have been All-Americans for the last 2 or 3 years. And she's like, I don't have to tell them what to do. Like, they're just going to go do what they're supposed to do. But she's actually getting to coach now, and she's really enjoying it. You can see her really having a lot of fun over on the sideline.
Yeah, that's really cool. Someone else you can see having a lot of fun are the women on the court headed to the Sweet 16. Dalton, turn it over to you. Talk a little bit.
They jumped on Iowa. Well, actually, Iowa kind of jumped on them real quick early, and then Oklahoma went on an 18-1 run.
Mm-hmm. I saw the side-by-side of the first half and second half of the scores, and you can see they flipped the switch.
It was an exciting game to watch, and weirdly enough, the Lloyd Noble had a little bit of an atmosphere.
What?
Like, hadn't seen that in a while.
What?
And Iowa traveled. I got to give them props too. They traveled. I mean, Iowa, they had like a huge section full of orange or yellow and black. I was shocked at how many fans they had. But of course, I think there was some excitement to play Iowa after following the Caitlin Clark era. Like you get a chance to beat this Iowa team, but they're not the same team. And Caitlin Clark was an anomaly for a school like Iowa, right? But
and was it really Jenny Baranczyk, an Iowa girl? Didn't she play at Iowa?
I think
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she played at Iowa.
Was it Iowa or Iowa State? You might be right.
I'm looking at it.
But yeah, I mean that's the game you wanted to have in the round of 32 before you have to play Connecticut and the best player in college basketball. I mean, this Sweet 16 game up in Spokane, I guess probably the best thing about having to go to Spokane is you're going as far away from Connecticut as you possibly can.
Absolutely. Other side of the continent.
And so that plays to hopefully your advantage because Paige Buchers is better than a lot of dudes at the game of basketball. I mean, she's the real deal. And so, yeah, it was an exciting game. I think that Jeannie has done an incredible job with the program. And then today, maybe the biggest news of the entire season, unless they make it to the Final Four national championship, is landing the number one recruit in the country in Aaliyah Chavez. She can absolutely hoop. I didn't expect her to commit to OU. I actually, just from home, I wasn't sure if she'd want to stay in Lubbock or not. I know Texas Tech was in her final, so I wasn't sure if she'd want to stay home. But yeah, I watched I don't know if you guys saw the video of the entire coaching staff. They had like a watch party for it, went crazy. It was pretty cool. But yeah, the women headed back to the Sweet 16.
Love that.
Can't say the same thing for the men.
No. So it wasn't good enough to make it into the tournament, right?
No, it was. I think it was. I think it was. But especially with the era we're currently in, I know I
remember having a conversation thinking that they weren't even going to be in the tournament.
Well, I've had to defend this all year. I'm a big Porter Moser fan. Yeah. So it's, I'm one of the few, it seems. But yeah, I think that Porter said it best after they asked him after the loss, how you continue to progress. And is he happy with the progress that they made? And he said, look, if you want to win in March, you've got to win in April and May with the NIL and the transfer portal. And Oklahoma can't do that. Oklahoma men can't win in the transfer portal. We've seen that. I don't know that we're going to get another Jeremiah Fears out of high school that's as good as he is starting as a 17-year-old and then an 18-year-old. And I mean, now you're looking at another complete rebuild. Northweather's already in the portal. The other big the forward who didn't play much is in the portal. You get Dayton back and possibly Duke Miles back and maybe Mo Waggy. But other than that, it's going to be a brand new roster again for Oklahoma, and we'll see if Porter doesn't take another job.
And you get those players back if Porter doesn't take another job. If Porter takes another job and it's another complete rebuild, I don't think any of those players come back.
I think you have a chance at keeping Dayton just because he's a hometown kid from Dale. I mean, he had other opportunities to go elsewhere and chose to stay home. I know that was just from when talking to Dayton's dad when we were up in Nebraska. He had said that one of the things they were nervous about going into this process was, is Porter going to be the coach at OU? So I think they did like Porter coming in. I think they obviously have a lot of respect. And like we've said it before, Porter can make a Final Four run. It's not that he can't. He's shown that he can do that. But, I mean, look at the NCAA tournament right now. There's no Cinderellas.
Yeah, none. For the first time in a long time.
You've got to have the resources to recruit. You being able to sell your name on the front isn't enough. You being able to sell your program isn't enough. You've got to have a bag. Yeah,
there's no Cinderellas this year, which bodes really well for my bracket so far. Well, I'm only missing one of the Elite 8 teams so far in my bracket.
That was going to be my next question, was asking you since we know the guys are done, how's your bracket looking?
I missed one in each of the sections.
Okay.
Each of the regions.
Okay.
For the Sweet 16. But I have only one of my Elite 8 gone. Have my whole Final Four, my championship, my champion.
Okay. What about you?
I've got all my Final Four, and then I've got 6 of the Elite 8 that are still in. I think it's 6. I don't think all 8 are in. I picked some upsets this year outside of obviously who we talked about in the Final Four, and that didn't happen. Colorado State being one who hits a 3 to take the lead super late in the game with like 3 seconds left, only for Maryland to take 3 steps and lay it in at the buzzer. So I'm still salty about that. But yeah, I didn't have Oklahoma. I wasn't one of those fans that sent Oklahoma past Florida. I did pick them to beat UConn.
Me neither. I did too.
And I think if they shoot the ball better, look, UConn did exactly what you need to do to beat Oklahoma. You can let Fears go. You can let Fears get his points. You can't let Fears create for others, because if Goodine and Elvis and Miles and Forsyth are hitting, now Oklahoma's really dangerous. And Fears can get 20, 25 points, but if you're 3 of 17 from 3, you're not going to win. I mean, against Georgia, Oklahoma hit 12 threes. Against Kentucky in the second round of the SEC, Oklahoma hit 9 threes. And Porter said it, to win these games, you're going to have to win. You're going to have to hit 7 to 10 threes, but shooting 3 of 17. I mean, Connecticut did what they needed to do on the perimeter defense there, with Oklahoma being so small. So
yeah, the next 3 best shooters from 3 all went 0 for 10 in that game. They didn't make one.
Yeah. Yeah, so not producing from the perimeter is what lost that game, because they played hard enough and well enough to win. They just couldn't hit shots, especially down the stretch.
Agree.
Tom, how about your bracket?
You know what? My son filled mine out.
Okay.
And the only one he asked me about was Arkansas, because he knew that I went to Arkansas. So he said, Dad, how far should they go? And I said, well, they're already farther than I thought they'd be. So, so everything's okay being in the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
You could have also said that same thing if you had gone to OU and he was asking you about them.
That's right.
When's the next home game, Tom?
We have LSU, and it is a weird Thursday, Friday, Saturday series.
Okay.
We've had 2 of those. We had a Tuesday, Wednesday. We've had 2 Tuesday, Wednesdays, which are odd because it's usually just a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have a Thursday, Friday, Saturday against LSU next week. So they have they're playing Oral Roberts tonight. They've got Alabama in Tuscaloosa this weekend. And then I think they play Wichita State next Tuesday.
Did we lose Tom?
Uh-oh.
Maybe.
He at least froze. If we didn't lose him, he's frozen. Oh, I think he's back.
Yeah, you froze for a second, Tom, and luckily for you, it froze with a good face, which is very, very rare.
I froze. Did I?
Yeah, it's
you
okay.
did.
You're back though.
Okay. Was it like in the middle of a sentence and my mouth was wide open?
No, that's what I was saying. Is like, you got lucky. You got a clean face on that freeze, which nobody.
You got a clean
does.
face and the end of a sentence in.
Absolutely,
So,
you sure.
No,
did.
that's even better.
That's even better.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No doubt. Hey, Tom, one thing we didn't ask you, and we've talked about the difference in the SEC in softball a little bit. The difference in baseball is that dramatic as well, correct?
Like with softball, yeah.
You know what? It hasn't been dramatic. It's just, I think the difference is much like softball, you have hitting 1 through 9. And I think that's the difference. And not that you didn't have it in the Big 12, because Big 12 baseball has always been pretty strong.
Yeah.
But SEC baseball, it's 1 through 9. And again, you could bring in a pinch hitter and that guy could jack it. I mean, it's just, you've got so much talent on every roster. And I tell you, the interesting thing too about the SEC is with NIL, and, rosters are changing every year. I mean, we've got 2 kids like Dayton Taki. Dayton Taki is a kid that just came in playing first base for us. Mm-hmm. He's brand new. He just transferred in. They've got a pitcher from LSU that came in. And, they've got a couple of other pieces that they've brought in the fielding. Dawson Willis, the third baseman I was talking about, the 9-hole hitter. Same thing. He's a transfer. So the transfer kids that are coming in, and especially on the other teams, that's where you're really seeing a difference in the talent. That talent pool is just higher in the SEC, I think.
Do you have a different transfer options in baseball than you do in what we're used to with football?
I have no idea. I think the way the scholarships are, I don't think scholarships are full. I think they're partial.
Okay.
because they have such a huge roster. I think the scholarships that some of these kids get, I do know that the NIL money is pretty decent. I mean, I think some of them they're making pretty good money to come in, and I think they have a little bit. It's kind of like basketball. It's not what it should be, right. But they've got a little bit that they can use.
Interesting. Because I wonder about that. We know what football looks like, and we see changes that are anticipated or possibly coming. But I didn't even think about it with basketball or even baseball. I always assumed that it would kind of revolve around the same time, but that wouldn't make sense. In baseball, you talk about the major leagues, you always have guys moving up and down, moving up to right. the majors, down to the AAA. I wonder if it's like that, if your transfer windows look differently and can happen mid-season, certain parts of the season while it's going on. I wonder what that would look like.
I don't know. I do know that NIL, they've got, somebody has to do something sometime, and I don't know who it is or where it is. But I heard, and you guys may have heard this, but it absolutely floored me. I heard a wrestler, not football, not basketball, not women's basketball, not gymnastics, not softball. A wrestler was offered like $3 million to go to Iowa State.
Wow.
I'm like, that's crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
That's crazy. Dalton and I actually had a text string this morning. We were texting a little bit, and it may have been yesterday, but about Jeremiah Fears. Unless he's a lottery pick, he could probably transfer somewhere else and make more money next year in NIL than he could in the NBA, because those rookie contracts in the NBA are not that great.
Interesting.
And Dalton, and I was like, he's got to go to the NBA, right? And Dalton's like, well, with NIL, he might actually make more money if he stays than he would. The only difference is he'll get a signing bonus. And so that signing bonus will be big, but his salary, he could probably make more with his NIL than he would on a salary. So NIL is crazy. And NIL combined with the transfer portal is just a complete nightmare. And to me, it's what's ruining college sports right now. We all know I love my college sports, and I definitely love my college football. But the combination of the two being made so active at the same time has just lended to kids, for lack of better terms, just whoring themselves out every year. And it drives me crazy.
I looked it up. Bo Bassett signs $5 million deal to commit to wrestle at Iowa.
That's
$5 million.
$5 million. That's crazy.
That's the second wrestler now, Dalton.
Hey, I know too.
Yeah.
Hey, I can put a Lucha Libre mask on. Who would take me?
Who's the other wrestler Dalton?
John Cena.
I thought he was going to say, I don't know. I've never seen him.
He's never seen him. That's
I should have. Dang it. Next time. He's learning.
It's one step at a time, B. One step at a time.
I know. We're getting there. Hey, he remembered his name.
That's right. He did. He's a bad guy now too, right?
Yeah, he's horrible.
That's weird.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah. He makes a little more than $5 million though.
A little bit.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Tom, dude, so good having you on. I hope to have you back.
It's a pleasure.
When you get closer to the end of the season. Guys still doing well, ready to do some World Series time. It'd be cool to have you back on. And
let's do it. I think it'll be fun. We actually wrap up the home season with Texas.
Yes.
You're gonna have to bring
just like softball.
It's off them horns, man.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick before we exit this, Mike Gundy is suggesting that OU starts doing 2 spring practices rather than an inter-squad spring game. So he kind of wants to bring Bedlam back as the ESPN update.
Oh.
He brought that up last year.
Did
he? He actually, he brought that up last year because he said, how much fun would it be for the state of Oklahoma to do a spring game, between OU and OSU?
That's just his way of saying he wants to get the money from it by getting people involved and going, but he doesn't want to actually step on the field in September, October and play Oklahoma.
Yeah, he ain't trying to break into that non-conference schedule for sure.
No, definitely not.
There's a lot of money in there.
Yeah.
There's a ton of money in there. Yeah.
That's for sure, man.
They got the Boys of Oklahoma show at the stadium. They got to knock out first.
Right. Well, guys, it's been fun. Talked a lot of OU, all OU stuff today, which I love.
Yeah.
I love. I mean, we do tend to lean that way, but we always end up with something else thrown in there. Guys, you know what they say, right?
The weekend is good,
but the midweek is always better.
And boom goes the dynamite.